What was your motivation for running for state senate? Let's start there.
I really decided to get involved after our 2016 national election. I, like a lot of people in America, expected that Hillary would win. And in fact, I was having a very large election day party in my house to really show my children the face of the first female U.S. president. And when that didn't happen, it really made me think long and hard about what I had been doing for the last 20 years and what I wanted to do for the future. And so I decided that I wanted to get involved politically. At that time, I wasn't quite sure what that involvement would look like. And then two very specific things happened. I've actually, as a prosecutor for King County, I've been involved in hate crimes since after 9/11, when a local Sikh cab driver was assaulted in Seattle. And in December, our local mosque actually had a safety forum. And so I was there with many of our East Side police chiefs. And it was this large auditorium full of people. And it was really eye-opening for me to hear how scared people were. Scared that they would have to leave the country, that they couldn't buy a house or give a family, their kids, themselves. And I remember thinking, I don't ever remember feeling this way growing up in the U.S. And then 2 days later, the Indian Association of Western Washington had a hate crime seminar. And it was, again, the same thing. I was there. We had local law enforcement there and a room full of Indians. And they were talking about how their kids in our area were being told in school that they were going to get deported to India. And so it was that weekend when my husband and I talked, and we decided that I would run for office because it is so crucial for our democracy that each and every one of us be represented. And that's how I decided to run for the state senate.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So it sounds like you have a good bit of involvement with the Indian American community. Could you expand on that or talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. So Seattle area, I moved here from California about 22 years ago. And I am one of the founders of CHAYA. It is a South Asian domestic violence organization. I helped found it 22 years ago because I was involved in domestic violence work. And I wanted to make sure we were providing culturally competent training for survivors of domestic violence. And so originally I did a lot of training within the mainstream domestic violence agencies and realized that the needs of South Asian women were not being met. And so that's how I started creating CHAYA, and now it's called API CHAYA. So I've been involved in the South Asian community for a very long time. I'm also very involved in my kids' schools. So I've run their math team, their chess team, the Destination Imagination team. And it's been really amazing because we've had, many times, these teams have been South Asian teams. And they've just been doing such an amazing job locally, statewide. And so I've been involved in the South Asian community on multiple levels.
Very cool. It's nice to see that you get into the schools too, even with the younger generations. So that's really cool.
Yes. And that's been one of the cool things about running for office. Last year, I had a teen campaign committee with 100 teenagers working on it. This year, we're up to 200.
Oh, wow.
And the diversity with the teens is amazing. We're seeing South Asian teens being involved at a level that I have never seen before. I think as a culture, we tend to be so focused on STEM education or being a lawyer that we don't really expose our youth to politics. And so me running for office has actually provided a forum where our South Asian teens have been able to get involved.
Yeah, that's great. What future impact do you see these teens making, or do you have any advice for them on how to continue on if they'd want to?
Yes, many of these teens came in and, had the career path set out. They knew they wanted to be doctors or lawyers or engineers. And many of them are now looking at the potential for public office. They are interested in legislative work. They are interested in doing interns down in Olympia. And in fact, the first legislative session we had, I had a lot of pages, the teens who page for a week in the Senate while we're in session. And we had a lot of the interns and volunteers from my campaign actually come and be pages. So it's definitely expanding their understanding of what other careers may be open to them. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do in the next 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, that's great. And I know you talked about some of the key, engineering, lawyer, doctor, but a lot of Indian Americans run a lot of small businesses too. Is there any involvement that you would want to take with you into like state senate for that to help those small businesses and the Indian Americans that run those small businesses?
Absolutely. Small businesses really are the backbone of America. And given the climate these days, I think it's really important to make sure that we are helping small businesses, helping the middle class. And so looking at, business and occupation tax, really looking at what are the barriers they deal with in starting a small business and then making that thrive is definitely things that I'm interested in. When we're looking at small, tech companies or doing R&D stuff, I think those are all things that we have to make sure we're nurturing and developing as elected officials.
Another issue that a lot of Indian Americans run into is like the immigration reform and the H-1B visas, student visas, and anything like that. And I'm sure you're aware of that, but is there anything, again, that you'd want to bring in or talk about or to make maybe some of your counterparts more aware of?
Right. I said, given the area that I represent, there are a lot of tech companies here and a lot of people on H-1B visas. And so addressing their needs, dealing with the cap, while there's nothing I can do at a statewide level, the kinds of things that we did this year is our state decided to have a program where financial aid is offered to dreamers. And I made sure that when that bill passed, that the children of people on H-1B visas were also included to be the ones who can apply for these financial aid services. And that's why it's so important to have representation, because if I wasn't advocating for them, that is something that may have been lost. And so it's definitely something we have to make sure that we're looking at every level of government to make sure we're including people. And, this is a country of immigrants. And so we have to make sure that immigrants are treated with respect, with dignity, and that there is a pathway to citizenship.
And then are there any other issues that you see being important to the Indian American community, and how would you engage in these issues?
So, as I mentioned, I'm very involved in the Indian American community. Education, I think, tends to be something that especially people in the Indian community value greatly. And given my work in the schools and being a mother of 2 teenagers, I do want to make sure that we are investing in education. That really is the reason why many of us and our parents moved to the United States, was because of the education, because of the opportunity it creates, and we have to make sure that we don't lose that. So working on ensuring that all of our children have access to excellent education is a priority for me.
Thank you so much. Is there anything that we didn't touch on right now that maybe you wanted to bring to my attention or anything?
Sure. Indian Americans in the United States are one of the richest immigrant groups. And as such, we do a good job in, working and living our lives, but we really don't get politically active as much. And I really think that as a community, we have to make sure that we are standing up, that we're being counted, and that we have a voice. And so I'm actually very glad to be representing the Indian American voice in our state legislature. And I think it is very important that we encourage people to vote, that we encourage people to talk about politics, and to really start paying attention and get involved at all levels, either volunteering on campaigns or donating or just simply being part of the process.